All right, so the next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros are the Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz II pay-per-view numbers. Another boxing channel came out and said, there were 2,500 pay-per-view sales, and that would be the lowest in the history of a pay-per-view. And we're hearing after an interview with another boxing channel that it's more around 75,000, and then another boxing channel is reporting 125,000 to 150,000. So with that being said, we're going to talk Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz, thoughts on the pay-per-view numbers, and then we're going to do something crazy. We're going to try to guess what the actual pay-per-view numbers are going to be when it's released. So starts one off with Ned, the cameraman.
Sheesh, yeah, I thought I was gonna do under 100K, man, but I heard a lot of Wilder fans were bootlegging this fight, so it's crazy. I think a hand count, like G bought the fight, and like that's about it. I don't think it was showing.
Yo, you know anybody else who bought that fight, man?
Nah, man, I don't think it was showing at bars. I don't think, it's crazy.
It definitely showed at bars.
Yeah, man, stop. But if I called around Boston, like, yo, y'all showing the fight.
I called around Boston.
75 for what?
75 for what?
Like, only person that took a loss that night was Fox, yo, and Fox is regretting this big time, yo. Like,
and you. That's what you said.
Whatever, those are investments, yo. You know, you gotta put in and wait on the return. You gotta it's all coming back.
The investment's coming back.
It's coming back big time, you know. So I honestly believe if they're saying 7, I wouldn't imagine it did under 10K pay-per-view buys. That's ridiculous. And I heard they were giving out free tickets by Wednesday just to pack out the place. Damn,
we wasn't even gonna go there.
Yeah,
man.
it's just. How you do that to the MGM Grand, yo? That's like how you giving out free tickets at the MGM?
Yo, I heard it was like 10,000 people there.
For free?
17,000.
For free? That's crazy. That is crazy.
I mean, look, packed on TV. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we were Santa Cruz. We were Santa Cruz. See him become 4-time world champion.
I just said we're gonna wait for the numbers to go out.
What do you think the numbers are going to be? This is just for fun. This is just everyone speculating.
Be fair and balanced.
Numbers.
I'm saying
objective. Let's go.
I'm saying 10,000 pay-per-view buys and like 5,000 ticket sales. 5,000 ticket sales.
10,000 pay-per-view buys
And 5,000.
That's all we do is pay-per-view buys. All right.
Yeah.
That was very generous of you, man.
Yeah. I'm trying to. Shoot.
Yo, Trill, what you got, brother?
Since the beginning, since this fight was made, if you look back to Boxing Bros, I was the only one, if you see my face, I was the only one that was the least exciting. I said this, like, nobody wants to see this fight, and the proof is in the numbers. Nobody wanted to see this fight, you know what I'm saying? Even Wilder fans didn't want to see this fight. I got into an argument with a lot of Wilder fans in comment sections from our Boxing Bros social media pages. Everybody was, saying how much Wilder's an exciting fighter and how much, he's the number one fighter and he's the number one heavyweight and he should be if there's a franchise, he'll be the franchise heavyweight and he's this and spectacular knockouts and all this other crap. At the end of the day, nobody is watching him. I think we proved the point here. It wasn't a fact of people loving and praising Deontay Wilder so much. It was them with their insecurities, not loving themselves and having a problem with AJ. It has nothing to do with their love for Wilder because they wasn't supporting Wilder. Poor Wilder. Nobody wanted to see you beat up on the old guy again. Nobody wanted to see you knock out this guy that you already knocked out again. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to see it, and the numbers prove that. You know what I'm saying? Wilder is hurting his legacy. Wilder is going to hurt his legacy. He needs to... Listen, if he loses to Tyson Fury, if he goes out here and he loses to Tyson Fury, he is going to kill his legacy. Because then everybody's going to be talking about who has he fought. He ain't fight nobody. You know what I'm saying? They put him in there, Rocky 3 again. They put him in there, you know what I'm saying, with all these people that he was supposed to beat. You know what I'm saying? They get him with a competitive guy that's his height, Not a guy that's shorter and older. A guy that's his height and is going to punch back. And he lost. This is going to kill Wilder. Wilder is great for the views on YouTube. But as far as pay-per-view, nah. It depends on who he's in there with. Nobody's coming to pay him to see him fight the elderly. If they're gonna pay money to see him fight level competition, high competition, that's what they're gonna spend money for. You know what I'm saying? If they're gonna spend money to see Wilder fight, it's gonna be against the likes of Tyson Fury, AJ, or even Joseph Parker. I see them coming out for, even Andy Ruiz. Everybody, not just some guy that you know that you're supposed to beat. Every time I see Wilder in there is with guys he's supposed to beat. You know what I'm saying? If you want to make some bread, give yourself a chance. You know what I'm saying? Go against somebody that people give a chance to win the fight. And then you'll start selling pay-per-views. We see AJ do it.
Dare him to be great.
And people didn't just hop on the fact of AJ. Oh, AJ, that's why he was fighting top level competition. Like when he went in there, he fought Klitschko. Klitschko was the man. You know?
Oh, don't mention Klitschko. He was old. That's what the Wilder fans would tell you. Klitschko was old.
And what was Ortiz? Ortiz was ancient then.
Oh, he was good. He was good when they fought. Oh, did you see the way he knocked out Ortiz? That's why I mean hypocrites. Hypocrites. Go ahead. Bro.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Listen, the numbers is gonna show the level of competition. And even if it wasn't a level, they just showing that people are not watching them. They're just not watching them. For somebody that's supposed to be the most popular guy on YouTube, is not generating over in pay-per-view sales and all the other stuff, and merch and all the other stuff. So.
All right, so I know you not big in doing this, but since every channel's throwing out their numbers, what's Trill's speculation that this fight, what the numbers did on this fight?
I think all the numbers came from Leo Santa Cruz and Brandon Figueroa. So I'm gonna think, how much does the Home Depot hold? No, I'm just a joke. Just a joke. Listen, I really don't about the numbers. I just know that all these fans was in there was Leo Santa Cruz fans.
How about over under 100K?
It's way under 100K. This should have been a free fight on Showbox. This is what this should have been.
Showbox the next generation.
On Friday. They just played it on Friday. I'm not mad. Listen. They saying 250K buys. I thought that was realistic. Let's just go another 2,000, 2,500. They said 2,500 the first time. Let's go up another 25. Let's just say it was 5,000. And let's just say because they was in California and Brandon Figueroa, Leo Santa Cruz fought on that undercard. So let's just say they packed that house, but they didn't sell nothing on pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? They ain't sell nothing on pay-per-view.
G?
All right, I'm gonna start off by saying I'm still Trill's line. Poor Wilder. We all knew this wasn't gonna be like a huge pay-per-view buy. I know for a fact I said this should have been on Fox, right? I think we all agreed like this shouldn't be pay-per-view, right? And clearly Showtime agreed with us, right? And so I felt so bad because honestly the promotion for this fight was great. Like if you seen like the commercials, the ads and everything that they had on TV, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube.
They lost money on that.
Yeah, it was fire though. Like I'm telling you, like they went all out for Wilder. And so, but there's a number of things that the average person, and on top of, forget the average or the casual fans. Look at the Wilder fans, right? Even Wilder fans knew Ortiz is food, right? And not to mention, Ortiz is horrible for the casuals because Ortiz doesn't speak English, And it's not like he has like a resume where it's like he fought top tier guys. The only time you hear this whole boogeyman talk is from Wilder. So we're listening to the guy who already knocked out this guy saying, oh, but this dude's the real deal. But we already seen you knock him out. But I do respect the fact that Wilder's like, hey, I did get help from the doctor. I got like an extra 3 to 5 seconds. So he's trying to, correct that wrong. But Wilder, the world didn't want to see that, right? So that's why I feel bad for Wilder. I feel bad for Fox for, putting that pay-per-view together. Now, in regards to the 2,050 or the 2,500, these numbers that are coming out from like YouTubers and stuff, like I would say this: shout out to the boxing the Boxing Voice. I almost messed it up. My bad. Shout out to the Boxing Voice for actually interviewing the boxing analyst who people are quoting saying that he actually made that figure, but they called him and literally the guy was like, that is not true. At minimum, that Wilder Ruiz fight, just being a pay-per-view in the United States, will at the very least sell 75,000. Now, when it comes to my prediction on how many pay-per-view buys they actually sold, I know initially I was like 200. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say I do believe it's over 100,000. So I'm gonna go with 125,000 pay-per-view buys because I do believe Wilder has enough fans to at least get it to 100,000. Now, beyond that I don't know, and because of the opposition, meaning Ruiz, aka the old Nelson Mandela, nobody really wanted to see that fight. So I could say it could range from 100 to 125,000.
I don't know, yo. I know people from the South, from Alabama,
Who didn't watch the fight?
they didn't order the fight.
Come on, man.
We was arguing with us on how
Alabama,
how
don't do
great.
that.
How
Don't do
great
that,
he
Alabama.
was in the comments. You'd see how Boxing Bros social media. Those guys is from Alabama. Those guys is from Alabama, and they didn't order the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing I'm trying to say. Is like these guys need to, if they're gonna. I'm starting to think that I'm an advocate for Wilder more because I feel so bad for the guy. If you gotta support your champion, no matter what. Like even if he's fighting people, there was times, right, when I was like, I knew Floyd was gonna beat Marquez. I know Floyd was gonna beat the dude Chavez where he fought. I knew he was gonna beat Sean Bay Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? But I still watched him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's depends if you're a real fan of somebody. You know what I'm saying? Or you just a bandwagoner. And I think a lot of Wilder's fans are bandwagon fans. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't like the other guy. You know what I'm saying?
And you see, and that's what, I don't know if Kate is going to bring this up, but he said this to me, I think 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. And I had to agree with him. Like, Wilder fans, yeah, they may love Wilder, but they hate AJ. And because they hate AJ, they going to watch AJ's fights because they hoping he's going to lose. While with Wilder, they go, I'll watch it on YouTube or I'll bootleg it and stuff like that. And I feel like that is the problem because it's like, if we truly love somebody and we're truly like, yo, we are your fans and we want you to do great. You know what I'm saying? We want you to perform on the world platforms. You got to financially support. $75, I get it. It's a lot, but it's $75, yo. Like, you would pay $75. If you would pay, like, money to watch, like, AJ lose, you should pay money to watch Wilder win.
Look, man, this is just no surprise to me. It's sad. It's sad that Wilder thought he was going to do good numbers. It's sad that Wilder thought he was being advised appropriately. It's sad that any Wilder supporter sat around and thought that this was going to be a successful event. Now, hopping on to a point that I've made a long time, G said my point incorrectly, actually. There are no real Wilder fans. They're just people who don't like AJ. Right? Before Anthony Joshua appeared in the heavyweight division, no one was talking about Wilder. No one was checking for Wilder. And Wilder, in his attempts to be intelligent, he says it. Well, he's like, the heavyweight division was in a dark place. I lifted the heavyweight division out of the dark place. How? When you were in the division for all these years, when it was in a dark place, and Klitschko was the number one guy, and you never fought him, right? So how'd you lift the heavyweight division out of a dark place? Fury fought Klitschko, took the belts from Klitschko. Then Fury got stripped of the belts, and you didn't take none of those belts because you never fought anyone who won the belts. So please tell me how Deontay Wilder gets credit for getting the heavyweight division out of a dark place. What he's really saying is
He gave himself that credit.
Yeah. What he's really saying is Anthony Joshua took the heavyweight division out of a dark place because he's the one who beat Charles Martin for a belt. Then he beat Vladimir Klitschko. Then he beat Joseph Parker. He's the one who brought the heavyweight division from a dark place. And then, as Trill pointed out, Anthony Joshua beats Vladimir Klitschko, and everyone says Klitschko was old. That's the number one thing that I hear from Wilder fans. But those same idiots text me when he knocks out Luis Ortiz. And look this up. Before the Luis Ortiz fight, they flashed this for 2 seconds. He's attempting to become the second oldest man to win the heavyweight title. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when Joshua beat Vladimir Klitschko, the man who reigned supreme for 10 years in the heavyweight division, he wasn't attempting to become the second oldest man to win those belts. But y'all give Wilder credit for that. You hypocrites. You clowns. Do you see why no one takes you seriously? For real. You're jokes. Because anything Wilder do, you bow to him. But guess what? The public isn't fooled by this. We see it for what it is, bruv. We see it for what it is, bro. It's a joke. That's why no one was going to buy this fight from the beginning, including the people who don't like AJ, so then they back Wilder. How do I know this? All the people in my phone who text me saying that I'm a Wilder hater, saying that I don't like Wilder, or label me as whatever, right? They text me at 2:30 in the morning. Oh, look at that Wilder. What about Wilder? I'm like, yo, the fight's been over. Y'all bootlegged this fight. Y'all didn't, because if they would have hit me live, because I watched the fight live with my man who bought the fight, the real Wilder fan, the realest Wilder fan I know, right here. There's only one real Wilder fan. You know, he's the president of the Wilder fan club at this point.
Yo, I like how this is going.
And my man Mo, because he actually went to the fights. So Big Mo. Oh, that no, Big Mo, yeah, Big Mo, who went to the Wilder fight from Alabama. He's been on Boxing Bros. And my man G. Those are only real Wilder fans, right? So at the end of that fight, I swear to you, I didn't get no text from any Wilder fans.
Good hour.
Yo, bro, 2:30 in the morning, my phone starts lighting up. I'm like, what the hell? So you know what I did? Trill's my witness. I'm like, what the hell? The fight was on YouTube at that time, right? So I got the link and I sent it to Trill. These out, y'all waiting for the fight to hit YouTube to text me. How about Wilder? You cornballs.
Oh,
like, yo, listen.
Shame.
Listen. The same guys who bootlegged the Wilder fight would pay to watch Anthony Joshua fight just to see him lose. More than they would pay to see Anthony Joshua, more than they would pay to see Deontay Wilder win. And that's how you know there are no Deontay Wilder fans. They're just Anthony Joshua haters. Mm-hmm. And lastly, Trill pointed this out. I would pay to see Floyd Mayweather fight Manny Pacquiao, of course. But I also paid to see him fight Andre Berto. I paid to see him fight Robert the Ghost Guerrero. I paid to see all the fights. Why? Because I was supporting the fighter that I like. I paid to see all Manny Pacquiao fights. Every single fight. Even when I knew Manny was going to smoke Ricky. I knew Manny was going to smoke Ricky. I paid to see it. Okay? Was Joshua Claudy on pay-per-view, Pacquiao versus Claudy? All those fights. And I knew Pacquiao was going to whoop Claudy. Okay? Still paid to see all those fights. I feel bad for Wilder. This is where, like, people say, we're actually true Wilder supporters. We're trying to tell him how to get the bag. Hey, listen. You fake fans, keep being fake fans. But I'm going to just tell you like this. My prediction for the numbers is this. It's under 100K. If they say it's over 100K, it's some baloney. That's the bottom line.
Just to go off of what the TB Ned said, you know what I'm saying? As far as bars not playing it, there was a lot of bars that didn't even play it. I know there was people that was looking for, because they was like, I'm not ordering that at my crib. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people that went out to try to go find bars that were playing, and these guys was rather played NBA final game, old NBA classic final games they had on. You know what I'm saying? Please like and subscribe.
Yo, Telly's friends was bootlegging the fight.
Oh, we can't go? Oh, we can't go. We gonna go over to his mother's house and watch the fight for free. Please like and subscribe and check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And please, if you're a Deontay Wilder fan, support him and watch his fight. It's the boxing, bro.
Yo, don't go in my comment section if you didn't buy the fight.
No, not no more.
I don't want to hear nothing, dog.
For real,
You didn't buy the fight, shut up.
Ain't y'all with no more about
Screenshot
Deontay
your receipt.
Wilder. She gotta check it first. She gotta check it.
A lot of people gonna lose their Wilder membership.
Yeah.